Hello, it's Patrick, and welcome to some more Tesla news. There's been so much since my last video. I've still got a video that I'm going to be putting out on the cover for the Model Y, and yeah, Model S and X production has restarted again today. So if you weren't aware, that shut down for a few weeks there. Big theories on what's happening. So there's been a Model S prototype spotted with a refreshed design in the wild. So this could be the new Plaid Model S, which wasn't set to ship till the end of 2021. And it was questioned online, like, Elon, how much are you sandbagging the timeline on the Plaid Model S? And he replied with a wink. So maybe way sooner than we thought. At the very least, some of the design cues that are going into that might be right now if you place an order for an S or an X. Maybe we're going to see a design configuration change pretty soon here for the S and the X with whatever these updates are. And there's a lot of people theorizing. The big question is, what are the things that they're changing in the S and the X? A lot of people are thinking that there's going to be a landscape screen. So the 17-inch center screen flipped around so that, you know, when you're watching movies and stuff, it'll be nice and big. It's not bad right now having the two screens, but it's a little bit smaller than a Model 3 and a Y. So it'll be interesting to see. A lot of people like having the dual screens. Maybe it's going to be one really long one like what GM was showing off. The one that was shown in electric from years ago was more just a bigger one than the 3 and the Y have. They're probably also going to update the ventilation. They're going to so it's going to be the bar with the louvers in it. Also, the heat pump's probably coming. We might be seeing an increase in range because of the heat pump and possibly the new batteries. It sounded like from battery day they weren't going to really update those until the end of the year, and then next year going really tabless and the structural batteries. But he could be sandbagging again. They might be implementing that stuff a lot sooner than previously anticipated. They could be readjusting the line to account for the Model Y and its sales picking up, because there's big news on the Model Y front. Some changes with both the 3 and the Y are the accent. The dash of the Model 3 and the Y kind of wrap around a little bit more onto the doors. It may not be that way in America yet, but you could probably see that happening soon. And the really big news is that the Model Y standard range is now out and you can order it. So for around $42,000, you can get a rear-wheel drive Model Y with a smaller battery that has a 244-mile range. So this is pretty cool. You can now get the Y for like $8,000 less, and they also have the 7-seat option too. So you've got the third row. It's tiny, but it's there. So it's meant for kids. I saw it in the prototype, and it looks identical to the prototype to me. So I would say it's bigger than the Model and more comfortable than the Model S jumper seats that were the rear-facing ones, but smaller than the Model X, which I have here in the 7-seater, which my son, who's about 5'7", he fits back there comfortably for him, but he's crazy, lanky teenager. I don't know. But not probably for adults, really for kids. But yeah, we've been putting my 2-year-old and my 14-year-old back there, and it's been pretty comfortable with the X. So the Y is going to be a little bit smaller. It's a $3,000 option. Really got to debate on whether or not you got small kids and you could use the extra space. Not, like I said, not for adults. They have some videos of it that they're showing on Tesla's site, but they don't show anybody sitting in it. So that's the big thing. We want to get some real video of real people trying to fit into these seats, because if you look at the back seat of the Model Y and behind it where the trunk is, there's really not a lot of space for 2 seats. It will be very interesting. Yeah, these Model Y seats, they're very interesting. The headrests pop up. A lot of people keep noting that it looks like they pop up higher than the trunk, but I think that's just a perspective issue. It does not seem like anybody's going to fit inside these bad boys. On a side note, the competition's heating up. It's good to see everybody's jumping on the electric bandwagon. Now, NIO had their big day, their NIO day on Saturday, and they unveiled a 150 kilowatt solid state battery pack. Now, they have the swapping stations, and they're going to let you upgrade to the 250 kilowatt on their current cars, and then their new car, which is like a Model S competitor. This is going to be in 2022, a 50% increase in capacity in cars coming out. So I can't wait to see what Tesla's going to do. Elon had said years back that, 100 kilowatts is really all you need for electric vehicles, and they've done updates to the motors with the permanent magnet motors, as well as all these little tiny efficiency things. And they showed it on Battery Day. It's like all these things. So if they make a more efficient pack, going with the tabless design, structural design, all these little things are like 10, 5% here and there. It adds up, and then you have this more efficient car. And if you're more efficient, that means you can charge faster. If they're able to keep the batteries cooler, and they take less energy, they go further, it's cheaper. It's really the way to go. And you can see that in, like, is it the e-tron and the Mach-E? They have these really large packs in them, and nowhere near the range of the Teslas. So that's why people keep saying Tesla is years ahead of the other manufacturers who are years behind. It's interesting, and it's good to see everybody switching over. GM, they changed their logo, and it looks like the word Elon now. If you turn it sideways, which is hilarious. But yeah, they're really talking about their platform for electric cars, and that they're going to put trucks and SUVs and cars and everything on it. This is what the Hummer has, and it looks good. I mean, I'm stoked. I can't wait until all manufacturers have electric vehicles, and they're talking an all electric future. So GM's getting ready, which is great. They're not just Toyota. They're not other, some of the other manufacturers that just don't see the change coming. I mean, Elon was really smart about this. Instead of like forcing people into electric cars and making compromises, nothing really bad about Nissan, but there was a lot of compromises in their vehicles. Their price was pretty good, but you have less range, they're not quite as powerful or sexy, and they just not as fun. I don't know. I've drove one. They get a bad rap. They're actually a lot better than a lot of people give them credit for. But still, he turned Tesla into something that kids get super giddy about, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's a Tesla!" And like I drive by schools and everybody's waving and hollering, and it's just super exciting. Like we finally, I'm gonna put a video out on this. I'm actually at the Supercharger now, where we towed my sister's big truck out with my Model X. Now she's buying that Model X, not mine, but a very similar red Model X. So we're going to get that today, and it's really exciting. It worked out financially for her, where the cost of the truck payment versus the Model X, we got a really good deal on a used 75D with full self-driving on it. She's not going to pay for gas anymore. Anyways, I'm getting, and I haven't made a video for a while. I get excited talking to you guys and reading your comments. Please comment below on any of this stuff I'm talking about. It makes my day. Speaking of affordability, Tesla's talking about producing that $25,000 Tesla here as early as next year in 2022 in Shanghai. So a lot of positive news, a little bit of bad news that turned positive. National Highway Transportation Safety Administration says that there is no unintended acceleration in Teslas after their probe. So basically, there's people just hitting the wrong pedal. And it's pretty easy because the Teslas have like the best black box ever. They document every little thing that happens on them. I spoke to some of the technicians, the mobile service guys, about it, and they're saying these cars are amazing to work on because they diagnose like every little thing. So if anybody slams on the accelerator instead of the brake, that is documented. And now, since these complaints originally came out, they made it so that it's almost impossible to do. You can't, go into ludicrous mode into a wall anymore. It'll let you go forward, but it won't go, super fast into the brick wall. So it's pretty cool. I think that's smart that they're able to do that. And this is like on all cars backwards. So they were able to do this update to the entire fleet, which is another huge advantage that Tesla has over other manufacturers, is they're still updating cars that were made over 7 years ago and giving them these brand new features. And that's why people love Tesla, and they're just so excited about them, like me and my family. Electric cars being the future. Netherlands reaches an impressive 69% all-electric market share. That's just ridiculous. We're like struggling over here with just a few percentages in the United States, especially where I live in Wyoming. It's hardly anybody had them up until the past year, and then I'm starting to see them around town, which is awesome, because we're like really out in the middle of nowhere, oil and gas country, but people buy them because they're awesome cars, not because they're electric, but the technology in them and the fact that they're fun, and it's just really cool. In the Netherlands, apparently VW, they sold more than the Model 3, which is impressive. Model 3's been kicking butt everywhere else, but it's good to see other manufacturers doing well in the electric spaces too. Speaking of being in the middle of Wyoming, our supercharger in Cody that's been on the map for years disappeared. So if anybody knows why, let me know. I mean, I own a charging station there under Wild West EV, which I'm thinking about changing the channel name to Wild West EV, just because I do want to cover more of the whole electric car space and not necessarily be just Tesla news. Although, big Tesla fan for now, probably as long as they're doing great vehicles, but I'm not, I had a Chevy Volt before, so it's not like, I'm still interested in all the vehicles, and you know, Rivian, very interested. But right now, charging network, that's all. The only thing in Wyoming is Tesla for high-speed level 3. I also ordered a CCS adapter, so this is from China, but apparently it works, and that's going to be helpful because we are going to be getting some level 3 charging stations put in Wyoming, and it would be nice to be able to use those. There's CHAdeMO, but it's only 50 kilowatt. You can go up to 200 kilowatt, I believe, with this adapter. Tesla should come out with their official one soon, I hope. But in the meantime, I travel enough. It would be really handy to have those extra charging stations available, especially over in Beaver, Utah. That place is the worst. It is always full whenever I'm traveling, and there is CHAdeMO stations across the street, or not CHAdeMO, Electrify America stations. So that's probably the first place I'm going to test it out at as soon as the pandemic kind of winds down and everybody's getting vaccinated. So I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been fun. Again, please comment below, like, share, subscribe. I'm at Walking Crow on Twitter, and you can email me. I'm pox at twosmartguys.com. Wild West EV is our charging network across Wyoming and hopefully other states soon. We're going to really try and kick it into gear this summer. Also, my wife makes these Tesla rings. So these are for the Model 3 and the Model Y. They're basically the little card that you get with them. We take them down, we melt them, and put them into to jewelry. And we did a video on how to do this, and people were like, hey, why don't you just make them and sell them? So we do. And my wife is actually backlogged. Unfortunately, they take a long time to make, and she's got stacks of orders. But if you want to get yours now, like for Valentine's Day or something, for a special someone, they start $100 at teslatrip.com/ring, and they're really cool. They're like a little backup. So if you don't have your phone on you, or for whatever reason, you can still get into your Tesla. Not to mention it's just really cool, and they look awesome. So thank you again. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.